On the windswept plains of Wiltshire, England, stands one of the world's greatest prehistoric mysteries, Stonehenge. A monument so ancient, so monumental, that for millennia, humanity has pondered a single question. Why was it built, and how? 5,000 years ago, when the pyramids were still distant dreams, Neolithic peoples began a remarkable undertaking. Over more than 1,000 years. A span so vast that 14 generations would pass between the first stones and the last. They constructed this circle of giants. The work progressed in 4 distinct phases. Starting around 3000 BC with nothing more than antler picks and human determination, they dug a ditch nearly 6 feet deep. Above it, they piled chalk soil into banks that gleamed white against the grassland, like a beacon to the ancient world. But the true mystery lies in the stones themselves. 2 types would become the monument's backbone. First came the bluestones, smaller than their cousins, weighing merely 4 tons each, yet extraordinary in their origin. These stones came from the Prehistoric hills of Wales, nearly 200 miles away. In an era before wheels, before horses, before organized trade routes, someone decided these specific rocks were worth the impossible journey. How did they travel? Theories abound. Some scholars propose that ancient peoples quarried them, then transported them largely by water, rafting them down rivers, across coastlines, navigating the treacherous sea. Then, on land, they rolled them along logs like mighty wooden wheels. Others suggest something even more remarkable, that nature itself delivered them. During the Ice Age, glaciers may have carried these sacred stones southward, depositing them where future builders would find and claim them as destiny. But the bluestones were merely the prelude. The true construction feat involved the sarsens, colossal stone blocks weighing up to 50 tons each. Imagine the weight of a modern truck, multiplied. These giants came from quarries only 20 miles away, but distance meant nothing against their enormity. Workers roughly shaped these stones at their source, striking them with hammerstones until they achieved the desired form. The field north of Stonehenge still bears witness, littered with fragments and broken tools from this monumental task. Hauling these behemoths across rolling countryside without modern machinery would require nearly 1,000 people, working in coordinated efforts. Some estimates suggest a single stone took 10 years to move. 10 years. For one rock. They dragged the sarsens atop tree trunks, using them as rollers. A 1995 experiment proved the theory. A team of over 100 workers successfully moved a 40-ton slab 18 miles. But imagine that feat happening hundreds of times, generation after generation. What emerges from the physical evidence is a sobering truth. These people possessed sophisticated engineering knowledge rivaling master craftsmen. The stones were not simply piled haphazardly. They were precisely carved with mortise holes and protruding tenons, techniques usually reserved for fine woodworking. The horizontal lintels locked together using tongue-and-groove joints, creating arches that would remain level even on sloped ground. This wasn't merely manual labor. This was architecture. This was art. An elite guild of builders must have existed, passing knowledge from generation to generation, fathers teaching sons, leaders inspiring communities to accomplish the seemingly impossible. To erect each standing stone, workers dug holes with sloping sides, lined the backs with wooden stakes, and hauled the megaliths upright using plant fiber ropes and A-frame leverage systems. Then, they piled rubble around the base to hold them fast. Timber platforms and precise final shaping ensured the lintels fit perfectly. Every element meticulously placed, every connection deliberately engineered. Yet construction methods pale beside the essential mystery. Why? What drove these ancient peoples to undertake such a monumental endeavor? One compelling theory suggests that Stonehenge served as humanity's first calendar, a sophisticated tool for tracking celestial events. The monument's alignment with solar and lunar phenomena cannot be a coincidence. On the summer solstice, the longest day of the year, the sun rises directly over the heel stone. On the winter solstice, it aligns with the western sunset. This suggests meticulous observation spanning generations, perhaps used to predict harvests, eclipses, and sacred festivals. The latitude of Stonehenge itself is remarkable. The extreme northern and southern rising and setting points of both sun and moon meet at right angles, a geographical distinction that exists at only specific latitudes. Was this accidental, or were the builders astronomers of startling sophistication? Another theory proposes something equally profound, that Stonehenge was a sacred healing center of prehistoric lords. Researchers examined the bluestones specifically and found compelling evidence. These smaller stones were revered and transported across vast distances, suggesting they held special significance. Some scholars believe these bluestones possessed healing properties, perhaps due to their proximity in Wales to traditional healing springs. Sick and injured pilgrims may have traveled across Britain seeking a cure at this hallowed site. Yet another interpretation suggests Stonehenge was not a place for the living at all. Archaeological evidence reveals that cremated remains were buried at the site, the bones of the dead interred with reverence. Perhaps Stonehenge served as an eternal resting place, a monument to permanence itself, the ancestors materialized in stone. In a pre-written world, Stonehenge became the ultimate biography, a monument spelling out the names of generations in rock and earth. Or maybe Stonehenge represented unity. Between 3000 and 2500 BC, British culture underwent a transformation. Tribes were consolidating. Perhaps Stonehenge was a massive collaborative effort that brought disparate groups together in a common cause, recording their collective identity in stone. The truth is, we may never know with certainty. These theories, and others, each hold fragments of truth, and yet, the absence of written records means Stonehenge keeps its deepest secrets. The builders left no texts, no explanations, only stones. What we know is this. For more than 1,000 years, thousands of people devoted their lives to this monument. They invested labor, ingenuity, and unwavering faith in something their great-grandchildren might never complete. They created engineering solutions that would perplex scholars for millennia. They aligned stones to the cosmos. They created a structure so enduring that 5,000 years later, we still stand in awe. Whether Stonehenge was built as an astronomical calendar, a healing temple, an ancestral monument, a symbol of unity, or something else entirely, it represents our need to create, to endure, to leave something behind that outlasts us. Stonehenge stands as a testament not to the answers we have found, but to the mysteries that endure. It is archaeology's greatest riddle, prehistory's most eloquent voice, and humanity's most ancient question. What did they believe? What did they know? What did they dream? The stones remain silent, and perhaps, in their silence, they teach us something profound. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you found this story as fascinating as we do, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more explorations into the mysteries of our past. We'll see you in the next one.